Hi everyone. In today's video, we are going to talk about string data type in Python. Now, what is a string? So, a string is sequence of characters. Sequence of characters. What could be these characters? So, characters could be alphabets, numbers, special character, could be anything. Now, how do we define or declare a string? So, the characters in a string or the elements or the items of the string are enclosed within single quotes or they can be enclosed within double quotes. So single quotes, double quotes, or even triple quotes. There is no difference. Like if you declare a string in single quotes versus double quotes, there is no difference between the two. It's exactly the same thing. So let's go ahead and define our first string. So let's create a string S1. Let's just put hello. So this is with single quotes, S2, double quotes, hello. And then you have S3, triple quotes, hello. As I mentioned, there is no difference between the three declarations. It's the same thing. So if you go ahead and print S1, comma, S2, comma, S3, let's see what we get in the output. So we are getting the string hello in the output. These strings are exactly same. Now, what if you have a string which spans over multiple lines? So maybe you have a string which is very big and it's over multiple lines. So can you use single or double quotes for that? The answer is no. So let's just try it out. So let's have a multi-line string, which simply means that the string spans over multiple lines. So maybe you have line one. In line two, again, you have written something, line two. Maybe you have written something else in line three. Maybe I'll just put some dots here. So this is a valid way to declare a multi-line string. If you go ahead and check the type of the variable S1, you can see it's a string data type. But what if instead of using these triple quotes, I use single or double quotes like this? I am trying to use double quotes here for a multi-line string. Then it will not work. So whenever you need to declare a multi-line string, you need to use triple quotes. You cannot use single and double quotes. Now, let's see how to access the characters in a string. So, let's have a string. I'll declare a string str1. Let's just put some text in here. Okay, hello world. Now, what do you think is the length of this string? How many items or elements are in this string? So, hello has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. Then you have a space, which is also counted as a character. So, 6. And the world here has 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, this string or this variable str1 has a length of 11. Now, what if from this you want to access this O here? So for that, we use indexing. So how does the indexing works? So the first item in your list, in your strings, gets an index of 0. So indexing starts at 0 in case of Python. The second item gets an index of 1. The third, the index of 2, and so on and so forth. So what is happening? The first item gets an index of 0, and then each subsequent item, the index is incremented by 1. So this is nothing but an address that you're giving to your characters in your string. You are basically identifying these characters by their position in the string. But what we should remember is that the index starts at 0. So that means if we want to access this character O, I have to give str1, then square brackets. That's the syntax. So square brackets, and then the index inside the square bracket, the index of O, character O. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So this is gonna return a string with just O, right? So it's returning substring O. Let's try another one, str, and let's try 6. So it should return you what? str1, capital W. That's what we are getting here. The output is capital W. Now, Python also allows negative indexing, where -1 is the index that we give to the last character. So here, D would have the index of -1, L would have the index of -2, -3. It's like giving two addresses to your characters in a string. So D here would have -1 address, also a -1 index as well. And the positive index would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 10. Likewise, H here would have an index of -11 and an index of positive index of 0. So let's go ahead and try to retrieve the capital H. So what we can do? We can give -11. What if I give -1? It will give me the last item, which is D, small d. Now, how do we do string slicing? String slicing simply means extracting a substring from this string. We want to slice our string. So how do we do that? So which is the string that we want to slice? str1. And I want to basically maybe get world from this. So what I'll say, str1, and then I have to give the start index, colon, end index plus 1. So why end index plus 1? So let's say we want to get the world, the string world. So what is the start index? This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start index is 6. And the end index is 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So let's just try to give 6 to 10. So colon you can read it as a 2. So if I give 6 to 10, it will not include the last D. Why? Because this this value that you give is not inclusive. So when you give only 10, it will not include D. It will give you the character at position 6 till 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9, it will give you. It will not return the character at index 10. So now we wanted character at index 10 also. We wanted the entire world. You wanted the entire world. So here we can see that this is now returning world. Okay. Now, what if I give something like this? What does it mean to Python? So I'm not given any value for the end index here. So when you don't give a value, it simply means that you want to go till the very end in this case. So you want to start at index 6 and go till the very end of the string str1. So returning the same value. What if I give str1 colon 7 maybe or 8? What does this mean? This means that we want to go from the very beginning because I'm not given any value here for the start index. That means we want to start from the very start of it, the beginning of the characters. So it will start from H and where we want to go till 8 minus 1, right? Because 8 is not included. So what it is going to return? Hello W, because H will have an index of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So O has index of 7, 8 is not included, so it's returning this string here. What is the output type here? It's returning a string data type. Now, let's talk about string concatenation. So we want to basically combine multiple strings using some operator, and that operator is plus operator. So what does concatenation mean? That let's say you have a string hello and str2 is world. Again, you can use double quotes, single quotes, triple quotes, doesn't matter. And you want to combine it as one string. So you have hello as a separate string, world as a separate string. You want to combine that. How can you do that? So you can say hello, or let's just use a variable name str1 here. Plus, I want to add a space. So I can specify the space as a string. This is a string with one character, and that character is space plus. So when you do plus for an integer data type, it adds a number. But when you apply this plus operator to a string data type, what does it do? It concatenates the string, it combines the string. So let's check, let's just output this return value here in an str3 variable. And let's go ahead and print str3. And you can see it has concatenated the three strings. The hello, the space after that, which is we have provided as a string, that's this space, and finally the world. What if we want to repeat a string multiple times? So again, you have a asterisk operator for that, multiply a string. So let's just go ahead and say Python three times. So we want to repeat Python three times. This is how it will do it. If you want to add a space also, you can probably just add it here and then run this operation. Now, the multiplication in the case of integer or a float data type will give you the multiplication of the values. But in this case, it is basically repeating the string value, okay, the string data type. Now, there are some inbuilt methods to manipulate string. So there are some inbuilt methods. We'll look into couple of those methods. So every data type has some inbuilt methods. So Python developers have identified some of the frequent things that we do for string data type, and they've already coded them for us so that every time we are using this string data type, we don't have to implement those functionalities from scratch. We can just leverage the functions that are already out there. Okay. Also, string is a immutable data type. That means you cannot go ahead and change it. So although you can do certain operations on the string data type, that will not reflect back to the original string where you're doing the operation. So you need to save the output in a different variable. We'll be talking more about immutable and mutable data types. I will have a separate video for this and you can go through that. So let's look at some of the functions, the inbuilt functions that we have for string data type. So let's have some text. I'll use the variable text here. And let's say Python programming. I wanted to have a longer text so that we can see what's going on. Now, let's do this. Let's use a variable here, dot, and then when you press on the tab on your keyboard, it will give you the list of functions, the inbuilt functions that I was just talking about. Okay, so these are all the functions. We are not going to discuss all these functions today, but over the course, as and when we need a particular function, we'll start using it. The idea is not to kind of memorize them. As you start working with Python and all these data types in Python, you will eventually start remembering some of the functions, but on your need basis, you would explore these functions and use. Now, let's try, probably we'll go with this upper. And what it does is it basically converts your characters into uppercase, your alphabets into uppercase. This is the output it is returning. If you go ahead and check your text again, you see your text has not changed. So if you want to maybe save this somewhere, you can assign the output, this output of this function here, to some variable. But the text itself has not changed when we have applied this function, something that you should note at this point. Now, another one is text dot lower. Now, these are already lowercase, so, but yeah, this will convert it to lowercase. Another one is text dot title. So, what it has done, it has made all the words, the first character of all the words uppercase. So, formatted for the title style. Then you have text dot strip. What this will do? So if let's say your text, let's just create another variable. Let's just call it txt. And I'll put Python programming only here, but I'm adding some spaces before and maybe in between as well, just so that you can see what's going on. So I've added some spaces here, guys. This is before the Python here. Then I've added more than one space between Python and programming, and after programming also, I've added some space. Now let's run the txt.strip. And what it has done is it has removed the leading and the trailing spaces. So space before the text or the string and space after that, not in between. So sometimes when you're reading from the file, this is a very handy function because many a times when we are reading from a file, right? Some other file, some trailing spaces also uh, are read. So you would want to remove them. You want to pre-process your data and then work, do some operations on it. So yeah, this we'll use a lot, the strip. Then there is replace. So let's say, let's go back to the text, which was this. And let's say text dot replace. And you can say, I want to replace Python with some other language. Let's say Java. So you first give what you want to replace in the current string, and then you give the value that you want to replace it with. So Java programming. Your text, once again, let's check, it has not changed. So let's say you want to save it somewhere. You can say, save it in another variable. Let's say new text. If we go ahead and print new text, you see it is Java programming now. Now, there is another one, which is, let's take our text and apply the split function. And as the name itself implies, all these functions, names are very intuitive. So split will split your text. Okay. So what it is giving you in the output, it is giving us list in the output, which we'll discuss in the next video. So this is a list data type. We'll talk more of this in the next one. But what are we doing here? We are essentially taking our text and splitting it into two separate string. This is one string enclosed in quotes. This is string number two enclosed in quotes. How it is splitting? Based on the space. But you can provide the separator also. So by default, if you don't provide a sep value, like I have not provided here, it has split it based on space. If I provide some other separator, let's say sep is equal to dash. So now, because there is no dash, it's returning us this entire string as it is. Let's create a text. Let's create a text. Let's just call it text2. And maybe here I have good morning. And they're separated by dash here, right? Now, if I do text split, text2 dot split, and then I have to provide the separator, and the separator is dash. That means the string which is separated by this dash we need to split it, right? So wherever there is so it doesn't have to be like one. So it's giving good and morning, but you can have more than one dashes also here. So now it is giving us three strings in the output. It took one string and gave us three strings, 1, 2, and 3. And it basically gave us list of strings. We'll talk about list in the next video or class. So that was about the string data type. I hope you all enjoyed this session. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Thank you. Bye.